Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the match between Espanyol and Barcelona. This was a game where Barcelona did play away, so many of us did know that this was going to be a very tough match, and Espanyol, like expected, brought the tough match, and Barcelona were able to tie against Espanyol in the very last few seconds of the game, which ended 2-2. So what we are going to be doing in this video is talk about the lineup, the first half, the second half, and then just give the conclusion of this game. But of course I do want to talk about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app, it is the best football app that you could find within the App Store. If you guys do want to find out what is the latest player news or team news, or if you guys do want to search up some player stats or team stats, that is all going to be within the OneFootball app. If you guys also want to search up any player articles or team articles or player tactical analysis articles, all of that is again going to be compact within the OneFootball app. It is the best trusted football app that you could be having within your phone. The only thing that you do have to do is basically scan the QR code that you do see on the screen using your camera on your phone, or if not, you can also click the link that will be in the description box down below and it'll take you straight to the App Store. You would be able to download the OneFootball app and then you'll be set and done from there. It's all for free. Again, you guys will love it, you guys will enjoy it. And I also do want to thank the OneFootball app for supporting a content creator. But now let's get back into the video. So let's first talk about the lineup that was placed on the field. Now this was a very easily predicted 11. We saw Gavi as a winger, we saw Busquets, Frankie and Pedri as the midfielders. We saw Serginho Dest come in for Dani Alves because Alves was suspended for this match and he's going to continue to be suspended for the next match, which will be against Valencia. But this was a starting 11 where it brought confidence, right? We felt the confidence within these players because we know that these players can deliver a great performance. So let's go into the first half. And in the first half, immediately we saw Barcelona open the game. They scored their first goal with a goal coming from Pedri. It was a great Jordi Alba cross. It went straight to the box and into Pedri's feet, and then the sensations from there moving forward was, okay, because we scored a goal within like the first 1 to 2 minutes of this game, maybe Espanyol might put their hands down and not bring that aggressive game that many of us were going to expect. But no, we got the complete opposite. Just because Barcelona scored in the very first 1 to 2 minutes, we saw Espanyol continue to fight. They really did, and they did that very, very well. And let me tell you guys, this first half that we saw between these two teams, it was a very entertaining and a very intense half. Like, Espanyol were defending very well. They came in with a 4-1-4-1 formation and they defended with basically 9 players, which made it extremely hard for Barcelona to crack this team down. And one of the biggest ideas that we saw from Xavi's Barcelona was to attack through the left side, and that is what I believe was one of the biggest problems for Xavi's side in tonight's game, is because they became too predictable for Espanyol. You look at these graphs here and you can just clearly see that Barcelona were really trying to utilize that left wing side alongside with Gavi, Ferran Torres, Jordi Alba, Pedri. Most of those players were on the left side and they attacked through the left side many times, and Espanyol were like, okay, we understand what Barcelona want to do, let's just focus our attention towards our right side. And that is why we saw in that first half, those first 45 minutes, Gavi be in complete action. And let me tell you guys, Gavi had a great game. Like, the way that Gavi was playing and controlling and bossing that left flank, it was world class. Like, it was literally, I do believe, one of the biggest games Gavi has yet to have in first team football. Like, it was Gavi versus Vidal and 2 other players, and this was not even his natural position. Like, the fact that Gavi performed at this level, this is the type of performance that these players have to be looking up towards too. Like, they're like, okay, look at Gavi, like, he's not even playing in his position, but he is really trying his best to bring a result. Like, we need to match that energy. And so I hope that Gavi continues to be like that leader when it comes to leading that front three, because Gavi is doing it. Like, I know that he's 17, I know that he's young, I know he's considered as a youth player, but the fact that he's doing it, that's the only thing that matters. Like, age is just a number, and Gavi was able to be one of the most dangerous players within that front three, and it caused so much danger for Espanyol. So I do want to give props towards this player for having such a great game. Now here's the thing, right? Even though Gavi and Jordi Alba were really bossing that left flank and they were taking on players, looking for those crosses, every time they actually tried to look for those crosses, it was really hard for them to find a man inside the box. Like, we saw Adama Traore see some chances. We saw Ferran Torres especially, who had like 2 to 3 chances in those first 45 minutes. They could have scored a goal. And to be more specific and to be more targeted, Ferran Torres, right? I just do not think that it was like his game. Like, Ferran Torres had a horrible match today. Like, I honestly thought that he was going to be able to score 1 to 2 goals because he did have the opportunity to score about 1 to 2 goals, and it was coming through players like Jordi Alba and Gavi, but Ferran Torres was not there tonight. He disappeared. He ghosted. And I felt like, yes, Adama Traore and Ferran Torres were very unlucky, but Ferran Torres was especially very unlucky and was so poor tonight. Now, because we continue to to see the exact same thing, right? When we saw Gavi and Jordi Alba trying to take down these players, many of us were asking, okay, if Barcelona have only one outlet, which is on the left side, how come they don't use Adama Traore? We know Adama Traore can easily take down 1 to 2 players and maybe look for a cross from there. But the thing is that Espanyol, they congested his spaces. Like Adama Traore literally had no room to maneuver, and so it was extremely difficult for Adama Traore to cause some damage. And that is why Barcelona were like, okay, fine. If we can't go to the right side, if Adama Traore is having so much difficulty running down that flank, let's just go to the left side. And what did I tell you guys before, about like 1 to 2 weeks ago, before Adama Traore had that debut for Barcelona? Adama Traore much rather prefers to have a game where there is a lot of open space, where he can run down that right flank. If he is in a situation where there are a lot of tight spaces, where the team is defending with 9 men, Adama Traore does not prefer that. That is not his environment. And we talked about this before, and Espanyol in the end studied the front three very well. They knew exactly what were the weaknesses for every player. But in the end, I want to give credit towards Barcelona for those first 45 minutes because of the way that they pressed. They were very hyperactive. They were very on point on trying to be aggressive, just like how Espanyol always does play. And why is that the case? That's because Xavi orders these players to be in a position where they can win the ball within a span of 4 to 5 seconds. And even though Espanyol did find that goal and they were able to level against Barcelona 1-1, it was a very even match. Now let's go into the second half, and this is where things go, like I have always said, in a complete 360. Like, I don't know what happened in the second half, but in those last 45 minutes, Barcelona did lower their level, and I just have no idea why this was the case. Like, their energy was just not there. Like, even though Espanyol continued to be aggressive and to always try to take down that man throughout that second half, that does not mean that Barcelona should be putting their hands down or to always try and drop themselves into the ground. No, you got to compete with a team like Espanyol and say, no, we're going to be in control of this game and we're going to continue to have the possession, because I have no idea. Like, Barcelona really did look like within those first 30 minutes of that second half that they did not want to play. It looked like they were getting very nervous. And the way that Espanyol scored that second goal in the second half, it was just so ridiculous. Like, I have no idea what Eric Garcia was thinking in that moment. The only reason why Eric Garcia was even in this game, it was because Araujo was kicked in the first half and he had to leave going into the second half. So we saw Eric Garcia replace Ronald Araujo, and then when that moment came where Eric Garcia had to defend that long ball in the air, he was very unaware on just where that long ball was going to end up, and he looked completely lost. He was incapable to target the ball with his head, and that is why Espanyol did score the second goal. It was just a complete lack of focus, and Eric Garcia was there to basically sum up the attitude of Barcelona. Now I get it, right? Like, Eric Garcia has just came back. He missed about 3 to 4 matches. Maybe he was just not on form, but you can't miss that ball with that big of a margin. That has to be through lack of focus. And so we really did see in that second half the absence of Araujo, who I believe could have easily blocked that long ball. And we also saw the absence of Dani Alves. I think that Dani Alves would have created a much bigger and greater threat down that right flank. So Barcelona were really hurting in those first 25 minutes of the second half. I do believe that once again Barcelona were showing that when they are in a disadvantage, when they are down 2-1 or maybe 3-2 or maybe 1-0, sometimes they just cannot deal with it. And Espanyol continued to see those chances in the second half, and we failed to penetrate Espanyol's defense. And so whatever this game was coming from Barcelona, which I have no idea what it was, it screamed for a number 9 in the box. We needed a great number 9 in the box because Adama Traore was continuing to have one beast of a game. We saw Dembele come in, he was looking for those crosses, and we're like, okay, we need that number 9 that can score a goal with his head. We saw Aubameyang try to attempt to score a goal with his head, he missed. We saw Ferran Torres miss throughout the whole game and was given like 3 to 4 chances and he missed all of them. But then, right, ladies and gentlemen, in those last few seconds, right, Luuk De Jong was able to enter the match. He came in, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's going to go on here. The only reason why Xavi wants to put Luuk De Jong in those last few minutes of this game is because we're going to go all out in terms of our crosses into the box, and it's going to come through Dembele and Adama Traore, and Luuk De Jong and Aubameyang is going to have to look for that goal in the air. And in the dying 20 seconds of this game, we did see exactly that, and Luuk De Jong came in and scored immediately through a cross coming from Adama Traore. He came in for the exact reason why they put him in. It was to score that goal inside the box with his head. And I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I do think that the MVP besides Gavi within this game, it is Adama Traore, because if it wasn't for Adama Traore, Barcelona would have never looked that dangerous like they did in those last 10 to 15 minutes of the second half. And he was the reason why Barcelona were able to find that second goal coming through Luuk De Jong. And so he literally kept Barcelona alive and relevant in the second half. And I'm going to also say that that he is part of the reason why Barcelona continues to be in top 4. So just to basically sum it up, Barcelona were great in the first half, but in the second half they were just so poor. Like, I just cannot tell you what was Barcelona's specific game plan in the second half, because they did not have any, and Espanyol were able to gain confidence from that. But if it wasn't for Adama Traore, Gavi, Luuk De Jong, Jordi Alba, if it wasn't for these players, Barcelona would have never seen the top 4 by the end of this game. But they were there and they were able to deliver. But now we must learn from this match, forget about it, and move forward, because we still have a place to fight within this top 4, and our next game, it is going to be against Valencia. But that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona post-match review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.